The change, and I don't know if it's apparent to many. I don't know how many have dealt with like the public internet or how the internet was actually constructed. But this is an illustration of sort of where the internet was, right? If you picture those tubes or those cylinders, one that says transit, then I have wired access and mobile access. They're extremely hierarchical, right? You would enter one of these networks, right? Either from the content publisher's perspective, right? You publish your content, you'd have to ride through a hierarchy of network to get to a data center, a cloud location, or a peering location to be able to ultimately distribute that to the users. The same thing on the consumer side. So coming from the bottom of the diagram, you had these many layers. That created a very latent, unpredictable, sort of environment, network environment that could not offer a quality of experience, to the users. You did not have the ability to control all of those variables. So the subtlety that I have there is that, you see quality of service. The transit networks that were put together by some of the largest carriers have now been overbuilt by some of the largest global content providers. And that was because there was an inability to provide a quality of service or a guarantee that the content was going to get moved from one city to another and published successfully to a user, right? So we've evolved, right? And on the access side, the bottom half of that diagram, the ISPs, that you can think of that as all your internet service providers and your mobile network operators. There still is a hierarchy, and a complexity, and they have trouble guaranteeing your quality of service. So the sale there is buy more bandwidth. That'll fix the problem, but it's still not improving your latency or potentially even improving the quality of the video that you're consuming. So I used a little reference of a light bulb there. Like, that's a wonderful incandescent light bulb. The products that it sold for years was light, right? And it's now been improved, and the reason I bring that up is say, we now all accept LED light bulbs. They're great. They cost a little bit more, but they still produce light. They last a hell of a lot longer, and they're a lot more efficient, right? So this is sort of what we see how the internet is transforming now, right? You end up with the content owners driving content deeper, using network technologies, and I had mentioned one before. Ethernet was a transition that was important. DCI is an acronym for data center interconnection that we use in our business. So a lot of smart people in the data center business and in the cloud business that understand where a content archive is and where their origin locations are, and they will use these direct fiber, high performance, high speed connections to distribute that content, to push it closer to the users. And what you end up seeing is I have two other acronyms on there too. Mobile Edge Compute, the MEC, so that's pushing the storage and compute resources even farther and closer to the users, and virtual CDN. This is all creating a distributed sort of content environment where now, if you think about that as a user, the hierarchy, the complexity, the latent behavior, that's all removed. It enables a better performance. It enables content owners to actually monetize their services better, whether it's searches, if they serve up advertising, or they have subscription based products, they can actually provide better quality services that way. And this is sort of forcing the industry to look at overall end-to-end quality of experience, not what they used to call the quality of service SLA. Quality of service SLA meant I bought 100 megabit per second internet service, and I was guaranteed to only lose a small percentage of the traffic, right? That's not good enough for video. The video, you need to know that, hey, they didn't abandon, they were engaged, they stayed tuned, and they did not rebuffer. This is a very different type of metric. So we see a transition to all these technologies driving a distributed cloud environment, enabling content to be pushed farther and closer to the users, and the metrics themselves actually being based on quality of experience.